Nintendo has always been a company that's like, for the modders, good luck. For people who want to play some of their older games, good luck. It's just a company that has been so severely oppressive on people who try to do anything more with their games, which obviously I do not agree with because, well, I mean, let's take for instance From Software and their take on Dark Souls and Elden Ring and things like that, and just allowing people to mod the game. I do believe that brings more people in over time, especially over time, because it enhances the game. It gives people something new to do. There will be a new Dark Souls 3 mod coming out that basically just creates a whole nother game, but they still have to get Dark Souls 3. And I think that's a huge positive on the company because it shows that, yeah, let the players do what they want to do. Whereas Nintendo has always been a lockdown, you are not allowed to do anything with our games no matter what type of thing. And it's sad because I feel like they would be able to reach a much broader audience too if they allowed people to mod their games and do more with their games because yeah, you pretty much can't do anything. You can't even do tournaments with their games without them sanctioning. I don't even That's a whole different animal. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the newest app to release on Apple since their third party policy change, and now it is an emulator for Nintendo games. So I just wanted to kind of go over a quick article here and see what exactly is going on, and I want to see if Nintendo's looking to take any action against it because, well, we all know Nintendo. This is an emulator that lets users play thousands of Nintendo games. Is currently the top free download on the iPhone App Store. The Delta app currently supports downloaded versions of countless classics from NES, SNES, N64 home consoles, as well as Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and Nintendo DS handhelds, which I think is pretty cool, honestly. I love when people release these because, well, one, because it's becoming so much harder and harder to get these games, they're able to play all of them in one place. And two, they don't have to spend all their money on these games because the games that do survive, they like to charge $500 for. And just no. I'm not doing that. It says the app rapid rise in popularity follows Apple's recent change in App Store policy to officially allow video game emulator apps onto its storefront for the first time. The move has been linked to growing pressure on the company by European legislators to make Apple allow third party app stores in the use of emulators on iPhone without the need to jailbreak devices. And I love that too, is that people, there's always a way to get around it. And people who wanted them would just jailbreak the phones. If you don't know what jailbreaking is, basically it just means it unlocks the functions of the phone, if you will. So you're able to do more. So when you hear people say jailbreak on consoles, it allows them to go into the device and kind of, well, it allows them to do more with it, essentially. They're allowed to put their own saves in via USB and things like that. And it just allows more access, which I think you should have automatically, but that's another story for another time. I do think this is kind of cool though, for sure, especially on an iPhone because so many people have iPhones. I really don't get the attraction. I guess just because of the brand. I'm an Android guy myself. I know. Ooh, I Android. Ooh. But I just because Androids allow that more freedom to update the storage on the phone to go into the developer settings or whatever and change things. But of course, that's just more for, well, nerds, I suppose, like myself. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. It says notably, Nintendo has yet to comment on the decision despite its typically firm stance towards piracy. Officially, Nintendo provides access to the limited catalog of NES, SNES, and Game Boy games through its Nintendo Switch Online subscription, with access to N64 and Game Boy Advance titles, including via a pricier expansion pack tier. There's no method of playing emulated DS titles. And that's another thing, too. It's like, well, they do offer it, but you have to subscribe to it, and it's like, bro, some of these games are like 20 years old. Ain't nobody want to pay a subscription just to play it when they can just download a free emulator and play whatever game they want all in one place. Man, that's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. So yeah, I think this is a net positive for sure. My biggest gripe is that, well, it's not even a gripe. My biggest concern, that's a better word, concern is that Nintendo's going to crack down on this because it's Nintendo, and ironically, they make games for people to have fun, but as soon as people try to do more with their games to have more fun, they crack down on it because Nintendo and whatever goes on there. But yeah, Nintendo, I obviously they make incredible games, but in terms of when it comes to a company and allowing their players to do what they want, good luck. Good luck. This is unofficially emulators like Delta allow users to download countless video game ROMs from internet sites free of charge. Earlier this week, Apple pulled another Nintendo game emulator after it was discovered the app itself was based on another emulator's code. I mean, isn't all emulator code, or I would think it's all similar in some way because it's all providing the same function. I mean, sure, it's going to differ, but I mean, there's so many apps that just copy paste, if you will. Like that was just kind of an add-on. I don't really even know what that has to do with any of this, but I guess it's the fact that they're pulling these emulators that they just allowed onto the market. But anyway, long story short, TLDR, this is cool. Emulator allows you to play pretty much all of the older Nintendo system games, and you can just download all of them free of charge. Be careful when downloading free stuff on the internet because it's the internet and people try to send you not so helpful programs, if you will, on the internet. So just be careful, but I do think it's a net positive for sure, for consumers especially. I'm just waiting to see Nintendo's response because, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But anyway, if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like. And also, tell me what you think about it too, now that I think about it. I really want to hear people's opinions on emulators and whether you think this is a huge dub or not. Um, because, yeah, it's just cool to be able to play older games. Anyway, if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace.